Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya coming at you here in the month of April. Springtime is in the air. We're still going through this false winter or false spring in Pennsylvania, but I don't know when
it's going to get cold again.
I don't know, but it does.
It's always going to do that.
Not to talk about the weather, but this is the time of year. If you're going to talk about the weather, you can complain about how it is, 33 degrees one day and the next day it's 80 degrees.
Hey, I never have a problem with that because anything but gray skies for me. I just love anything but gray skies.
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind it cold, but I think it was a little hard this winter with all, like, when it was like 8 degrees for a while. Like it was like for a while. You started to get like to the point where you're just like, I kind of get why people move to Florida full time, even though I don't know that I would do that, but
or I get why people move away from Canada.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there's not that many people in Canada. The size of the population in Canada, and I thought I have the census numbers in front of me, but I'm always surprised how small it is.
It's pretty small in terms of the overall amount of people, but which makes sense, right? Yeah. I mean, I love Canada. I've been to Ottawa, and I thought it was a wonderful city. And, I really haven't been to Montreal. I'd like to go to Montreal. But I was in Ottawa. And what a beautiful city. But I don't know that I'd want to live there in the winter.
The only places I've ever been were in Canada, were Niagara Falls twice. That was spring break for me in college because I wasn't old enough to go to, like, Daytona Beach or something like that where a lot of people went, like, so I was old enough to go. I wasn't old enough to drink, So in Canada, I was 19. So like you were going to go away, and I was a junior in college. And some of my buddies who were in the similar situation were like, "Yeah, I'm only 20 and I'm a senior. I'm not going to get a spring break unless we get." But they're like, "Let's go to Canada." And it's like, and dude, so many people there from Shippensburg, Penn State, all over.
Seriously?
All over. Go up.
I've never heard of that.
Yes, they go to Niagara Falls because it's the closest place, and then. It's not, I forget how far it was of a drive to Toronto. So we went to Toronto and then a couple places, like little places in between. But yeah, it was great. Like Niagara Falls is actually really fun, Canada. And then in Toronto for like 2 nights. I don't remember much about it.
It was a blur. Yeah.
It's pretty fun though. All right. Well, listen.
When I was in Colorado, we would go down to Phoenix. If you couldn't afford, you had to drive somewhere. That was the closest, but that's like 18 hours, so it's not really that close.
Yeah.
You'd think it was closer if you look at it on a map, but it's really not.
No, it takes, you're out there all alone in Denver. Yeah.
And driving through New Mexico and Arizona, it's like the most exciting thing are the big cactus, the ones with their arms up.
Yeah. Sorry. I've never been there. This is the worst thing, but the most I've ever seen of Arizona is watching this lady that's missing on TV, Today Show.
I've heard that she's, I don't know what's going on with
but
that.
I mean, like, they show a lot of pictures of Arizona, and I'm like, well, it looks like it
seems a little sketchy to me, but I don't know.
Yeah,
did you see the pictures of the guy who was at the door? Dude, and they're like, he is a person of suspicion, and he's got a mask on and a gun, and I'm thinking, just suspicion?
He looks like he has no idea where he is or what he's doing either.
You think he's at the wrong house?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd check with the neighbors, see if anybody's missing there.
It's very strange. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
The whole thing didn't make a lot of sense to me. And
No, but it's a current event that everyone's interested in for sure. And I mean, one thing I did notice though is that when you talk about it with like younger people, like my teenage kids, they pretty much have no idea what's going on in the world. Like if you say, "Hey, did you hear about that?" And they'll be like, "I have no idea who Savannah Guthrie from the Today Show." I don't know what the Today Show is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They don't.
They're in their own little world.
Yeah. I mean, I remember her from a while back, but nothing
No,
more
I mean,
recent,
I don't watch it, but I'm like, just say that I'm like, I guess the point is I pay attention to things, and they're more into, like, I guess they would know more like an influencer or something, or certainly sports, like athletes, everybody's like, whoever of your generation, but they don't know who like the evening or morning news people are. They don't get up and watch the Today Show. They have
Stone knows who Cale Sanderson is, but not Savannah Guthrie.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Yes, correct.
And he's a very wise young man for knowing that.
All right. Well, I want you to start off. Let's crack this beer. By the way, it's not a beer. It's a cocktail in a can. While you do that, I'm going to crack mine. I'm going to go let the dog in because we're recording from a home location where there is a dog.
That's right. I'll just talk without you. I don't need you here. I can do it. I will say that at Mike's house, if you stand outside the door, it smells a little like cow poo or some sort of poo. I'm not sure which poo it is. You know, I'm part Pooey Indian. Did you know that?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. It's
Pooey?
Pooey, yeah.
No.
P-U-Y-E, Pooey Indian. Yeah, that's a member. I'm a member of the Pooey tribe.
I didn't know that.
I don't brag about it a lot, as you can imagine. But the Tiwa Indian Nation and the Pooey. Oh, is it the Tiwa tribe and the Pooey Indian Nation? Maybe that's it.
Sounds like you're really connected to your heritage.
I'm a little Pooey.
I'm kidding. What is it again? What's that for me?
It took me a minute. Well, when you're royalty, when you're North American royalty like I am, it's hard to remember exactly which tribe you came from.
I'll look it up. All right, so we have some beverages in front of us in honor of spring and getting outside and enjoying life outdoors. A beautiful beverage, known well for the golf course, but translatable to any outdoor gathering or wherever you want to enjoy drinks, outdoors or indoors. But it is the Trinity Flavors Transfusion in a can.
I love that.
Delicious.
I love that cocktail. That's such a great cocktail. The grape in it just is just so refreshing.
Ginger.
And grape, little ginger on the end. Yeah, that just crispens it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's really good.
Makes it really, really yummy. Yeah.
Good one.
That's
too.
a vodka based as well. That's as transfusions are, and as most of our cocktails are. Yeah, are vodka based.
First sip of the day there.
Is it good?
Feels good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I have the vodka lemonade, which is we sell a ton of this, and it's just a good. Old-fashioned vodka lemonade. The lemonade we use is very high quality. We use lemon juice, nice blend of different lemon flavors, and it's really yummy. People love this.
Right.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Delicious.
Cans don't clink like the.
No, they don't.
I like glass better. Do you?
Yeah. Well, we can drink out of a glass. If you want to see the colors, we could pour them into a glass. We have plenty of glass, but. It's fine. I like it out of it. That's the point.
You know, these cocktails, the canned cocktails, they're meant to be drank out of a can. So you want to drink them as they're meant to be drank, right? Yeah. You wouldn't take this and pour it in a glass over ice necessarily. Keep them in the fridge because they're meant to be consumed as they are.
Right. So if you were to, if you put ice, you want it cold, but if you put in a little bit of ice, just maybe, well, especially if if they're not in the fridge, you want it to be cold, then you're going to have to put it on ice.
Yeah, you're going to have to put it on ice.
But refrigerated because the flavor is perfect and it's mixed well. If you water it down a little bit, you've watered it down.
A little bit, yeah. It won't affect it too much, but you don't want to let it sit. You know how if you go to, let's say Burger King, and you order a Diet Coke or something, just as, not that I've ever done that. But and by the time you get to the bottom of it, it tastes like water with a little bit of Diet Coke in it.
Yeah.
And it just isn't great. But,
no.
Yeah, but the first few sips taste good.
Yeah. Well, fountain sodas that's kind of, I'm actually somewhat of a fountain soda connoisseur. I've always enjoyed it. It's like, I don't know why. I've always been like a fountain soda guy.
I had no idea, Mike.
Well, I like it. I've always liked, I don't know. It's a small purchase, but you go in, you make you got the selection ever since I'm a little kid. Ice, and then I like the foam cup. I don't know if the foam cup that they still make is environmentally friendly. I don't think
you see that anymore.
No, they still have it at a few places. When's the last time you were there? Really? If I told you this morning that I went,
it wouldn't be a lie.
No, I gotta. Usually, whenever I drive into Harrisburg, I pass a certain. I don't necessarily. I guess I can just say it's Turkey Hill. I went into Turkey Hill.
They have the
they're large size. So and then that thing is like as good as a Yeti, man. for like a day.
It'll keep it?
Because like the ice will, like in that foam cup. Remember they used to put like a Whopper or a Big Mac in like the foam container, and like that you assume that's like just clogging up landfills, or like they stopped doing that a long time ago.
Yeah, they did.
But I don't know if they've improved the foam cup or what, but I don't have a problem with the foam cup. But the regular plastic cup, it doesn't hold the ice as long, so then that gets watered down really quick. Anyway, but yeah, and
have you ever gone in to get a fountain soda and you double dip, like you do the drink?
Heck yeah,
and then you're like glug 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 glug, and then you go whoosh, and fill it up again.
So there is a move, okay? There's a thing, and you know, because you guys have your sodas in the fountains at Appalachian, So, but so there's a move. Obviously, if you're going in like a self-serve situation, you're going to fill that baby up, and you know that the mix can get off a little bit. So like if the syrup in the box is a little too light compared to like the carbonation, I don't care how much you like Diet Coke or Mountain Dew or whatever you're drinking. If it's off, it's going to taste crappy. So you have to take that sip to make sure that it's.
Oh, it's a test sip.
It's a test sip.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought I was just sucking it down so that I could get more.
Oh, of course. Well, that's what it looks like you're doing. But
okay.
I've seen guys graze over the fountain before where they're like.
Let me get this straight. You're tricking the guy at the cashier.
No, I
think you're testing it.
Yeah, the guy's like, it's a 32-ounce cup that you're filling up.
I don't think so. But you're not even fooling that guy.
But I know, because if you get the same thing every day and it comes out a little light colored, if you've ever got like a fountain soda, because I'm talking about like a long drive in the car, I would get one, because if I go into my office and I'm sitting there at the desk all day, I'm just kind of like grazing over it. So I got a large one.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So what do you do if it's not up to par?
Then I guess I would get something else, but like, I am pretty particular about what I like. Like what?
So you do the taste sip.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't like this. You pour it out, or you
I wouldn't fill the cup. I wouldn't fill it. I would only do it if it was suspect. Like, mostly I'm filling the whole thing. Also, I'm very like polite about. If you're waiting behind me, I'm not gonna like screw around.
You're not gonna do the suicide.
No, I'm not gonna be the guy who holds you up so that I can sit there and get my extra 4 ounces of. Yeah, at the fountain. But
are you the guy that fills up like 72 of the little ketchup cups?
No. No, I'm in there for my cup, for my drink.
There.
Yeah, and
my business. I do my business, and I'm out.
But you got to do the test sip. It's like quality control, because if you've ever filled like a 32-ounce cup up, and you get on the road and you're driving and you take that sip and it's just like soda water with a little bit of syrup in it, and you didn't realize. It's undrinkable and you're not going to want to drink it. So you got to take the sip while you're in the store. But I have seen like the big sweaty landscaper come in.
Okay.
Who's like, and just.
I think that's closer to what I
feel.
I'm like the landscaper apparently.
Well, I mean,
you're thirsty to start with. And why not, right? They're giving you the cup. They're telling you, we got to do our own work. I'm now working for them.
I always kind of
I got to fill my own cup up.
The fountain soda in a gas station is kind of like, isn't it like a lure to bring you in to buy something else? Because it's usually pretty cheap, right? Like a fountain soda, to me, I feel like a fountain soda.
I never thought of that, Mike.
32 ounces of like a soda out of a fountain. Let's just call it. It's like $1.50. You might be pushing $2, okay? But that's like a 32 ouncer or like a big one, like you go and get a 20-ounce plastic bottle of the same beverage out of the cooler. You're easily $2.50, almost sometimes like $2.79, $2.89. So I think the soda fountain is like a thing that draws people in, like almost like a look. We have a dog who agrees. Sorry about that, but I think it draws people in, and then they get them on the hook for like a hot dog or something else too while they're in there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that, Mike. And in terms of going to a convenience store, what's the hook? What's bringing you in there? I thought the gas was the hook.
Gas.
And then
obviously.
you go inside and you're like, oh, look at all this other stuff in here. I think I'll order off the little screen here.
I don't know. I think the fountain sodas, how can the same amount of liquid cost less in a larger quantity than the small amount of liquid in the fridge? You know what I'm saying? In the bottle? I think it's a better deal, but some people don't like the fountain beverage just because. I've
never heard of that, but I don't know. Some people, I guess you're right. Some people like it in a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
Some people like it on fountain.
Right.
I like it in a glass bottle, and I make soda. Just so you know, Mike. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. Have you ever heard of the Appalachian root beer?
I've heard of it. I'm a big fan.
So I'm not a professional like you on fountain soda, but I certainly know how to put soda into a bottle.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, well, I will say that's why I like soda in a bottle, because normally that is just, you drink it right out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And it tastes perfect. It comes out perfect. And I don't know. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I'm talking about coming home, like after football practice, you and the kid are thirsty. It's like you pop in, you grab like a slushie or a fountain soda. So it's become somewhat of a little bit of a habit, probably. That's why it's probably why I know so much about it.
You might have a problem.
I don't know. But at least it's something I know about. Isn't it good to know about certain things?
Know about your problem? That's the first step.
No, but it is true. I think it's a good point, the fact that we talked about some other stuff. But when you go into one of your brew pubs, you guys are serving your craft sodas on draft, right? So when you get that cup or that glass filled with soda, it's something that you guys made. It's your recipe.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and it's always good stuff too.
Yeah, it's nice and flavorful. That's for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of flavorful, so we've got the transfusion. This is the Concord grape with the ginger. Is it ginger beer or is it ginger ale?
It's really ginger beer. It's really ginger flavor. Mm-hmm. Ginger, extract infused into the product. So it gives it that nice, like, bitey finish. It's nice.
It's really delicious. Yeah. And so do you ever do anything, is there like a mix? Like, could you take any of these? Have you tried any of the, like a mix? Like you were talking about mixing at the fountain. Would you ever take like a transfusion and mix it with like a lemonade or something?
Mike, I'm sort of against that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Honestly, no, tell me why.
Well, no, because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly the reason why. So back in the day, I started a brewery in Kansas City called 75th Street Brewery, right? And they asked me to create the beers for them. So I created a red ale, and I also created a raspberry wheat beer for them back in the day. And one of their customers or one of their bartenders, I'm not sure who, mixed the two together, and they made a raspberry red ale, right?
Right.
Okay. So guess what they named it?
I don't know.
They named it the Artie. So people would go there and order the Artie, and it was a mixture of two beers. So since then, I'm like, I want my name associated with like a really good solid Pilsner maybe, or a really good stout, or a fantastic
not just somebody's accident.
Not somebody mixing two things together that weren't supposed to be mixed together to start with. Yeah. And now they're calling it by my name. So if you go now today, that was 20, I don't know how many years ago. It was 30 some years ago, probably. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
If you go to Kansas City and you go into Barley's Brew House and you order an Artie, you're going to get...
You still get that?
You can still get
That's
it.
That's awesome, though. I mean, come on. It's not that
crazy,
bad, right?
No.
It sounds good.
Wow.
Did you say it was a raspberry wheat?
Raspberry wheat.
Sounds
mixed
good.
with...
A red ale.
A red ale, yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, but I get it. I understand why you do.
Yeah, you can see why yeah.
When I was a little kid, growing up in the little city of Sunbury, up about an hour north of Harrisburg, my mom worked at the hospital, and there was next door to the hospital, there was a Kiwanis playground. And so like in the summertime, they would have, I think they were students from like Susquehanna University would like run the they would be like the counselors. So they'd be in there from like any day from like 9 a.m. to like 3 p.m. You could spend all day over at the playground, and there'd be like activities and stuff. And so we would go over, and then like once a month, they would be like, all right, everybody gets to bring like a 2-liter bottle of soda. And they would just have this massive bowl, and everybody would just dump it all in. We thought it was the greatest thing. So you'd bring, and it would dump it, and then we'd sit around with a ladle, and you'd get to drink this concoction. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's like making your own soda type.
Yeah, exactly. Except it just absolutely tastes like nothing. It has no flavor. Ginger ale takes over, and Dr. Pepper is a very strong flavor. So if there was one of those in there, it's not going to taste very good. You know what I mean? Like Dr. Pepper.
I like Dr. Pepper, but I never drink it. But I like the flavor of it. Dr.
Pepper, it's just like you just remember that flavor from your youth. Everybody goes through a Mountain Dew phase, I think, when they're like a teenager, or at least boys do.
One of my best friends drinks Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Like Diet Mountain Dew is his jam.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Once you find out there's Diet Mountain Dew, you're like, I will say this.
He even mixes it with bourbon.
Get the heck out of here. Really?
No, he loves it.
Diet Mountain Dew with bourbon?
Bourbon, yeah.
That's awesome.
Appalachian bourbon is his favorite.
Well, I could see some people will do that stuff, and like you'll hear this, like you said about this concoction called the Artie, right? I mean, it's not something that you would have thought of. It's not something that you necessarily endorsed. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people will just find a weird combination of something that they like, and like that kind of becomes their thing.
Yep, that's right.
And who knows? I mean, if it's good for you, then it is what it is. I just think that with like diet soda, people kind of like wean them. I remember as a kid, I would never drink a diet soda. I'd be like, diet soda. Then somewhere around college, I started like drinking diet soda.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to go back to like stronger.
Yeah, I think my feeling is if you're drinking sugar, you're drinking sugar, right? Even if it's the complex sugars that your body can't metabolize, so they sort of pass through.
Right.
That's this whole idea. But I've seen, I know people who only drink diet sodas or whatever, and you're still...
We're not all created equal in a sense that our metabolisms, if you're drinking sugar all day, like compared to something that maybe doesn't have sugar in it as a beverage, you might be putting on weight. I don't know.
You could. It could happen.
Anyway, I don't tend to worry about that stuff too much.
Well, yeah, but you're very active, Mike. You also work out a lot. You know, I think it's a balance in life, right? Mm-hmm. You need to work out. You need to eat right, and you need to, keep your consumption moderate. And I think if you do those three things, I don't think you gain weight.
No, and I think
unless you're going to lose weight.
We're all fighting the clock a little bit because it's definitely a little different than when you're younger.
Metabolism definitely goes down over your ages. As you get older.
Awesome. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick little break. Continue to drink our cocktails in a can. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff. Talk about how some of the new items on the menu have been going.
Yeah.
And talk about what's to come here as we can almost sniff summer in the near future. You're hanging out with Mike and Artie on the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast. If you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. Otherwise, grab a beer and let's keep the good times rolling. For all things ABC, visit abcbrew.com. Now, let's get back to Mike and Artie.
All right, and we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie DeFoy, and we're coming to you from my place today, my house. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by.
I love your great room here. This is nice.
Thanks, man. Yeah, here at the bar. And what's interesting about, obviously you brought a bunch of beers along with you, and we were enjoying the Transfusion and the vodka lemonade from the Trinity flavors line of the canned cocktails. But we obviously have some beer here with us today, too. And before we get into what you brought, what I thought was interesting is I told you that I have two beer fridges. I have one out here by the bar and one in the garage. And I found something.
Yeah, you did.
That I thought I would share with you, which is I think it's at least 3. I think it's probably 3 years old, but it's an Outta Focus.
It's at least 3 years old, Mike.
Can you tell probably by the fact that it's in a bottle or like when it's...
Because we've been canning that product for about 2.5 to 3 years anyway. So So this and hopefully this is one of the last bottles we did, right? No, the interesting thing
Outta
about
Focus
this,
double IPA.
It's a double, so but IPAs just don't age like regular beers. Like you can take our barley wine, or you could take a Jolly Scot. Maybe it would be a couple years old, and it might. What happens is the oxygen that's in the bottle, which could be minuscule, right?
Yeah.
But over time, it affects it more and more as you go along. So you start getting this little bit more of it gets a little malty and a little bit, they will say it tastes a little papery maybe. Papery, like if you were to chew on paper.
Interesting, okay.
That's one of the descriptors of what they call oxidation.
Papery.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So when you smell that, so Mike poured it.
So here it is. Yeah, so we actually poured this.
We haven't tried it yet.
We found an Outta Focus double IPA from about 3 years ago. It's never not been cold, which is good, right? I mean, so it's been in a cold, dark place since I brought it home. But we have it in a pint glass. It looks okay to me. I mean, you said it looks maybe a little.
It's a little. I mean, it's definitely hazy, cloudy. Which it wouldn't have been as cloudy, and it wouldn't be quite this dark either.
But see, this is the difference. Your palate, like knowing this beer, you can close your eyes and like tell me what exactly is in this beer and what it's supposed to taste like. And me, if I have one on occasion, I'm thinking it's not, I definitely would still drink this and not be like, oh, it's like skunked or something. Yeah. But what are you feeling? Because
I only drink Outta Focus when it's about a month or two old.
Yeah.
So it certainly tastes much more. It's crisp. It's got the nice fresh hop smell. I mean, if you taste this now, just to let you know, you taste it and you get more of a sweetness, right? A little malty.
Yeah.
And I call it malting it out a little bit. So it tends to be a little sweet on the malt side, and truly, most of the aroma is sweet too. It's all the hop aroma has gone away from it.
What I always liked about Outta Focus, the double IPA, is that it was always so smooth compared to it wasn't like this hit you over the head like hop flavor. It had something to it that was very smooth. So I still find that to be pretty drinkable. Well, although being a double, it is a little boozy.
Yeah, you can taste it.
Yeah. But, anyway, so the point is, a lot of people will talk about aging beers, and I know that that's somewhat like, some people will say, I've got this from 6 years ago or whatever, and okay.
Never an IPA.
But not an IPA?
No,
okay.
No IPA.
And I didn't do it intentionally.
Drink it as quickly as you can. Not so quickly, not that quickly, but you know what I mean. But the beers that you want to age out are anything that's a little bit higher in alcohol and everything's a little bit malty.
Got it.
Because you remember I said it's going to malt out a little bit.
Yeah. That
actually sometimes enhances that a little bit more.
Got it.
So that allows you to, they'll say it brings in a little bit of a raisiny flavor, or these the pit fruit type flavor.
Okay,
I
can see that.
Plum and that type of thing. That allows you to make the beer a little more complex, but it's more like a bourbon, right? You age it out to get the flavors from the barrel.
Yeah.
But there's certainly people age beer, and I think that you can sit down and enjoy it. But I always felt like IPAs are not one of the ones you want to do there.
I agree, though.
Even doubles.
The fact that you say that, like it having been in the fridge, and I'm not saying that it's skunked, and there's nothing wrong with it, because this happens. This is why we're at my house today and we're not at your bar, right? Because at my house, these kind of things happen.
That's right.
They happen at people's house. I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I've passed that beer over because I was going to save it for another day. You know what I mean? So today became that day.
Well, that's great. And I'm sure there are people who have it in their house that's 2 years old or whatever. The key is, the thing that I always say is we make fresh beer locally.
Yeah.
Drink it, right? Drink it.
It's best
only
fresh.
Buy as much as you need to drink for whatever period you're gonna enjoy it, and then come over to ABC and get a little bit more.
Got it.
But that's just me. I mean, it's easy for me to say, right?
Right. Well, you did bring up a term now that I'm going to be using every time I bring out this next beer. But you said we're going to malt out a little bit.
Yeah, we are going to malt out now. So I like it.
This is one of my favorites, and this one is fresh. This one is pretty new here. This is the Jolly Scot, and we've had this one here around. Let's see, my daughter's birthday, end of January is when I got this. So this is fresh. Yeah. This is nice and fresh, and
you see the clarity there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a big difference there, and the nice head on top. That nice white sort of tan head.
So this is a cool story, though. Jolly Scot is the Scottish style ale, and it's the 80 shilling, as it says on top of it. And you and I and my son went to a wrestling match up in Penn State, and we stopped in at another craft brewery up there at Otto's while we were up in town. And there's actually a sign for the old Gropner Brewery up there that had Jolly Scot on it.
Yeah.
So they had the poster, but you got the recipe.
That's right. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite beers, and whenever I drink this beer, I always use it as an opportunity to tell people, like, look, when you look at the color of this beer, it's malty, it's a little bit darker, almost caramely, not quite red.
Well, yeah, it's red with a little bit of amber.
Yeah, amberish. Okay, good. Yeah. So, but that would scare some people away in like the summertime or something, like, because people we've always talked about somehow of a natural association between darker beers and colder weather. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love this beer in the summertime. I've never shied away from. If I like it, I'm going to drink it whenever I want to. But ice cold, it's a delicious beer, and it's just. If it's hops you're looking for, a bunch of hops, not the beer for you.
No, not the right beer.
Yeah,
but I will tell you, this beer, it finishes crisp, and that's what I think you like about it.
Yeah,
it's not. It has a nice maltiness to it, but it finishes dry, and that's what I really love about it, because it doesn't sit there and it's not sweet to drink necessarily. Right. It has flavor, and then it dries up and is nice and crisp. So that your next drink your next sip is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great beer. So anyway, that one's one of the original flagships at ABC, the Jolly Scot Scottish style ale. I love it. I typically have it around. I usually have some Water Gap wheat. I think we just ran out of that. Some Jolly Scot around. The Outta Focus, certainly something that used to be one of my faves, but every once in a while, you just like anything. You sort of, with IPAs, I don't drink them as regularly as I drink like wheat beers, or I drink something. So some people love IPAs. Some people just go by IPAs almost all the time. For me, it's more of a one a night type deal. I don't like that. Yeah.
Me, it's more like a 7 a night type of deal, but I get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not 7. No.
Would you say if 2
or 3 maybe? But God, I just love the complexity.
But if I talk about what I like, when you hear me talk about like how I like wheat beers, and believe me, I have plenty of buddies.
You love wheat beers.
But when I have plenty of friends who say, dude, like, I don't drink that many wheat. Like, you drink wheat beer all the time, and I'm like, yeah. If I'm going somewhere, it's not like I'm not trying other things, but if I'm on the fence and I'm going to spend money on something, I know I want to go with something I typically like.
Yeah.
But I like IPAs too. But wheat beers, like a Jolly Scot, what would you consider? Like, if you were to describe me to another person, what would you say my palate is then favoring?
Well, I mean, the wheat beers are usually lighter, right? So you like something lighter. You like something with a little bit of flavor, because that wheat flavor is a little bit more than if you're drinking a light lager, right? Because it's going to give you that more mouthfeel from the wheat. They tend to be a little bit sour. Wheat is more of a sour malt, so you're going to get a little more sour on the sides of your tongue on that. But you don't really realize that. I don't want to ruin it for you, because people think, oh, sour.
No.
But if you think about it, they used to add, we used to add lemon to our wheat beer.
Yeah.
And it used to crispen it up. Well, that's part of that citrusy, sour crispness, right?
Yeah.
You don't think about that unless you put it all together. So that's what I'd say you like, is that style. Now, would you still drink a Pilsner? Probably, right? Because it's right in that lighter area. Yeah. Jolly Scot, maybe only because maybe you get that malty and then the crisp finish. But, I don't know.
So I'm like a sweet and sour guy. Yeah. No, I really do like IPAs, but I tend to hang more towards like the hazies now. And the same thing. And if it has like if you have a hazy IPA with some sort of fruit element to it as well, I'm pretty much on that. I would try that. Yeah.
Well, most of them do. I mean, the new hops that we're using nowadays, they offer all sorts of different fruit flavors. They used to be, hops can be either herbal, floral, spicy, or fruity.
It's almost like pineapple-y or...
Yeah, El Dorado is a pineapple. I mean, that's that.
Grapefruit.
Yeah.
Like those kind of fruits.
Yeah. Grapefruit is more of a Columbus, Cascades, especially Cascade.
It makes a lot of sense then. Yeah. Awesome. And then when you're drinking like an IPA, then you're kind of hitting almost like that roof of your mouth. Like, is that kind of like that or the tip of your tongue? Or
I think it's an overall flavor there in your mouth, but you definitely get the back of your tongue is that bitterness and that little bit of a bite in the back. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah. I like talking about that stuff because I always wonder if you're to analyze me as a beer drinker.
Yeah. I don't know. Put you in a machine and we analyzed you.
Well, you don't want to come off as boring. Like, I know a lot of boring beer drinkers. I have some cans in here that are like designed for, people who come over, for a party, and you want to have something to offer them.
I always say they're not necessarily beer. They would argue with me, right? I'm a beer drinker. But if you drink like Milwaukee's Best all the time, I don't really consider you a beer drinker. I consider you
thirsty,
a drinker. No offense at all.
Yeah.
Because, but if you're a beer drinker, or maybe I'm just, I'm using the wrong terms. If you're a beer connoisseur, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna want to taste and understand the different complexities. But if you just want to drink beer, I guess maybe you still are a beer drinker.
So it is kind of like it's like that argument between, am I a fly fisherman or am I a worm and hook guy? I like them both. Yeah. There's like some days I'm one and some days I'm the other, but at the same time, like, you shouldn't be at odds with each other. It is something at the end of the day. If you want to have a Milwaukee's Best and I want to have a Jolly Scot, I don't think that me and you should be arguing over it. You know what I mean?
No, it's not worth arguing over. We both are drinking beer. It's just different beer, right?
And I also think that somebody would be interested in learning. Some people would be interested in learning about what they're eating or drinking like that. Like, what are the ingredients and what's making it taste like this? And some people have never thought about it. But like when you start talking to people, that's why flights, like beer flights, are really interesting, because then you get like 4 different styles. You get a chance to sample them, and you it's telling you. There can always be like a little, like a little write up on the menu about what the beer is that you're drinking. And then when you, I don't know how many people I've had that conversation with before, but like, there's obviously some beers are branded lager, right? Mm-hmm. And so that becomes, especially in Pennsylvania, like there's like a lager, right?
The lager. Right. Well, the lager that,
Yeah. And then, but when you tell people that Miller Lite is also a lager, they're like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not a lager.
It's not.
I'd be like, no, it is. It's a Pilsner.
It is. Yeah,
and a Pilsner is a type of lager. And then you say,
I always say it's not a Pilsner.
Yeah, but
no, it's not.
But what makes it a lager? Well, then we start talking to people, you're just like, well, it's really, if you break it down, there's ales and there's lagers. Yeah, and then people start to get a little interested as to like, oh, I never knew that. And why is that? And then you talk about yeast.
Sure.
And brew time.
We used to explain this in our training, and people are fascinated by it because they're like, you mean there's only really 2 types of beers? And I'm like, well, yes, actually, there are some hybrids from there, but yeah, there are really only ales and lagers. Everything else is a compilation of that style, one style or the other, or between the two. Or you could take lager ingredients and make an ale. You can take ale ingredients and make a lager. And so it all works together. But the fact of the matter is it just, what do you enjoy tasting? What do you enjoy drinking?
Right.
And a lot of people only enjoy drinking sort of what they've had forever.
Right.
You know, and that's okay too. But you're right. When we do flights, like I'll see people do a flight and they're like, oh, well, that's an IPA. Wow. I don't know that I could drink that a lot. But, you know, IPAs are the type of thing that you taste and you become accustomed to. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, the problem with IPAs is once you get the taste for them, it's hard to go anywhere else. And that's why they were so, you know, I won't say addicting, but they're definitely something that I always say they give you the most bang for the buck, no matter what you're drinking, right? You're getting a flavor explosion, maximum flavor for the same price, right? Yeah. And that's not alcohol necessarily, because they're not always high in alcohol. It's more so that you're getting, you know, your palate. And once it's used to that flavor, then of course you have to have more flavor, right? Yeah. Once you get used to hot, I need to have a little hotter.
A little spicy.
Yeah. Once I have that, I might need to get a little spicier from there, right? And then all of a sudden you're eating.
Now you're sweating and holding. Now you can't have dinner without.
You have your own podcast.
Right. You can't have dinner without wiping your forehead and your cheeks under your eyes. And now you're like, maybe
that's
I went a little too hot.
That's right. Well, thanks for breaking out the Jolly Scot.
No,
we
thank
appreciate
you. I already finished mine, but you finish yours. And the 3-year-old Outta Focus. I don't know if I always think that's always funny though when people find like an old beer in the back of the fridge, and I know that I've passed that beer over so many times. Again, just saying like I'm probably gonna have that another time. I don't want to drink it now. But you brought something brand new. It's in a can, and so beer number 3 here for us today. And this one, I know that you've pronounced it before, but tell me what we got in this can here.
It's the Ve Skale, right?
Ve Skale.
And what that is it's cave in Czech, okay? And the idea is that they used to age the beer in caves. And that sounded good.
It did sound good.
That sounded good. Great job.
Quality cracking of
that was they don't cheers well. They don't clink. But
well, here we
let's
go.
clink it anyway. Ready?
Boink.
Here, a little harder.
There you go. Yeah, it's good. It's like a completely full camera. It's like spill it all over the floor. No, it's Ve Skale Czech Pils.
It's the Czech Pils, and just nice, easy drinking, crisp, and it has that nice little Czech Saaz hops, peppery
very good
finish. Yeah,
exactly how I would describe it. Yeah, like a cleanness to it. When people say pepper, that doesn't mean that it's hot or spicy or anything like that. It almost means fresh and crisp.
But this is more black pepper. The Saaz hops tend to be that spicy, peppery type hop.
Yeah.
And what it does is that you drink that beer, and you wouldn't think that just a slight bit of pepper would make the beer, but it crispens it up and it makes it taste wonderful.
It's really good. How long have you guys been making this? I know that we talked about it before.
Since we've been canning it since the fall.
I really like the can too. It's
cool. It's sort of very.
I don't know. It's.
I don't know. How do you describe it?
Puts me in a mood here. It's like, so we have the darkened almost silhouette of some pine trees at the bottom. Mm-hmm. We have a dark grayish sky with some dark clouds in there, and then a very prominent red text on here that says Ve Skale Czech Pils. It prepares me for the flavor of the beer somehow, in a sense that I'm able to kind of taste that. When you say black pepper, I think people are thinking like, okay, I take a piece of chicken and I'm putting some salt and pepper on it. No. It's not like that. I would describe it as if you have a garden, you know how when you say like I'm going to go pick, I'm not trying to do nursery rhymes here, but you pick a pepper or something like that.
Definitely not the green though.
Not a green pepper.
Not green. That's different.
No. And when you say black pepper, I just think that it's just it's adding some complexity to the Pilsner. Yeah, it's really nice. There's nothing spicy or hot about this. It just has a nice freshness to it on the back end. It tastes very good. Love this beer.
Yeah,
actually.
if you ever travel to Czech and go to Pilsen, like Pilsner Quell, Pilsen is the city that is the foundation of the Pilsner beer. It's P-I-L-S, Pilsen, P-I-L-S-E-N, Pilsen, Czechoslovakia. That's the city where it was founded. And what it was founded on is the water there was super soft, which is amazing because our water in Harrisburg is also very soft. Low pH, and very soft. So it's great for making lagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we have to add a little bit of hardness back in.
Almost have to add it back in, right?
Yeah, but the water in Harrisburg is fantastic. I think we've probably talked about that on other podcasts.
Of course.
But the water in Harrisburg is fantastic for brewing. It comes from the DeHart Dam up by where by your old stomping grounds.
Yeah, up there. It's up on Route 325, like in Dauphin area.
It's a spring-fed dam up there.
Yeah, it's very big too. It's a very big body of water, and it feeds.
Yeah.
It's a water source for the city of Harrisburg, and
you can't navigate a boat on there, right? Or fishing, right?
It's not open to not open to fishing or boating. Yeah, which would be great if it was, except at the same. There's a lot of places like when you go up to State College. You go over Seven Mountains, that big reservoir there, like just to give people who aren't familiar with what we're talking about, similar to that, except it's one of the reasons I understand is that like that is sort of the end of the road for like where they do some of the like the military operations too, and they keep that dark and they keep that like that whole valley back there is where they try to keep they do the like nighttime stuff from like Fort Indian Town Gap. So they fly over there, and they need to be able to practice in darkness, and they don't want to have civilians in like places. So, and I think they occasionally they do things out there like involving the water potentially. Now, I'm not sure about that if that body of water in particular is used, but I know that area out there is where we're talking about. Back in that valley, there's a bunch of like hunting like game lands and things back there.
It's beautiful back there.
And then Clark's Creek comes out of it and stuff. So lots of beautiful property.
If you live out there, that's God's country. That's beautiful.
Well, and of course, and like if occasionally there's meteor showers and stuff that you'll see like in the news, and there's not that many places. I mean, because unfortunately, for better or for worse, we all live pretty close to a Walmart or a shopping center, and you have this thing called light pollution. Yeah. But
or just light.
Yeah, but when you get out there, like if you ever want to like go out and view like a meteor shower, if you drive out that road, like where that body of water is, it's kept that way. There's a lot of restrictions out there for what people can build and lights and things like that. And then the reason for, and that has to do with maintaining the benefit of that is maintaining the purity of that water, which we all benefit from.
That's the most important thing for us, of course. Isn't the darkest place in the United States up off of 80 and isn't it like the Bald Eagle National Forest up there or something? It's just north of 80, and that's where they would go to watch certain like a nighttime events.
There must be places where
it's just so dark that you can see forever. You can see all the stars.
The sky looks completely different to people. Yeah. Well, you just have friends that come in from other parts of the country and stuff like that on occasion that maybe visit Hershey, of course, which is where we're nearby. And we did want to ask you a question about that too. Mm-hmm. But they'll come here from places where they don't like Florida. And I mean, it's just development after development after development. So they're used to every garage has a light on it and everything. And that really blocks your vision of the sky. So even when we come here, and I live kind of out in the country, but not far from civilization. I mean, we're just a couple minutes from Hershey. But at night, our sky is pretty darn bright, and we can see a lot of stars, and we're fortunate. Mm-hmm. But speaking of, so we're in Hershey. We're not in Harrisburg or Mechanicsburg or.
Is this Hershey? Is this considered Hershey?
No, I'm not. No,
what are you in?
When you cross the creek, you're out of Derry Township, and now you're in East Hanover Township.
Okay,
but it was still in Dauphin County.
Yeah, I was wondering.
But you were just a couple of miles away, about 3 miles away from here is the Trogs Brewery.
Yeah.
And you just came here today, which is why we're...
Yeah, we had our first 717 Collab beer meeting. We had a bunch of different breweries, which was great. We love having more and more representation from the 717 area. And we open it up to everybody. Everybody in the 717 region are welcome to be involved in it. You can only have so many ideas, right, and you can only do so many different things. And, there's different aspects of the beer. You got, what do we want to do with the malt? What do we want to do with the hops? What do we want to do with the water? What do we want to do with the process? But really, when it comes down to it, it's a pretty simple process. So it's not like you can do too much. But we certainly have so many great breweries in this area that everybody puts a little bit of their input in, along with myself and Cliff. And it turns out, the beers have turned out so great. Mm-hmm. And we are brewing it because we're doing a bigger batch this year. We're going to do the batch at Trogs this year.
I remember the first 717, and that had to be around maybe 2014, 2015. And it was, I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry. Maybe we can try to remember that. But I feel like it was just 3 breweries, maybe 4. But I know it was Appalachian, Trogs, and maybe Pizza Boy. And was that the sour? Was that a little bit of a sour?
Yeah,
maybe? I think it was a sour. It was definitely in a goblet. I remember it was kind of what was the flavor of that though?
It was I can't remember, but we did.
It was pretty good though.
It was really good.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I think John Trogner didn't think it was great.
No, didn't like
and
it that much.
Was like, and Al was like indifferent to it, and I was like, I think this is pretty good. But I like sours back then, back in the day. Not that I don't like them now.
Yeah,
I don't drink nearly as many sours as I used to, but I think that it was very good, and I thought the problem with it is the processing of it. Maybe it didn't last as long as in the can as everybody would like, but we talked about that a little bit earlier.
What I remember is being the first year and that it was somewhat of a cool idea that like, hey, unlike other places that just are somewhat, obviously you have competition when you're in business and you're selling the same, type of product, beer, just like as you would if for a restaurant or, whatever, name whatever you're selling. If there's other people that are making the same thing or selling the same thing, you're competitors. But with this collaboration, you're able to get together, you guys partner up, and then it gets served everywhere. And I remember the media around it and everything was pretty good. And I remember
it was great.
So it had to be. So now we're looking at 2026. Maybe there might have been a year. I don't know if you guys ever took a year off or not because of like everything at this point.
The only time we took off was during COVID, of course.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
so
maybe
a
couple
year
years
or two
in there where we didn't have the 717 and Hannah at 0 Day and some of those guys got back in touch and myself and John Trogner and Chris Trogner got together and we sort of revived it. And now we've had other breweries come in and it's been fun. We've really enjoyed it. It's a good, the camaraderie of breweries was always great, right? And it sort of has dropped off a little bit only because we're all working so hard. We don't have the chance to go visit each other anymore or say, hey, let's do this or let's do that. But it's getting back into that a little bit more where we'd say, hey, let's do this. Let's do something fun. Yeah. Let's do something different.
And so are you able to give any hints or anything about what you guys might be working on yet or not? Too early? Still too early?
Yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
still
right.
too early. We just had our first meeting, and the first meeting in a collab situation is you sort of meet, you start throwing out ideas, right? And everybody writes down the ideas, and it becomes that type of idea. It's really a brainstorming session. Mm-hmm. What should we do? Light, dark, hoppy, not hoppy. What types of hops? Now, let's say we decide to go light. Then we go with what type of hops. Let's go this type of hop or that type of hop. And that's how the meeting progresses. And then everybody walks away and then we get back together and it's like, what did we talk about? No, not really. No, we actually get back together and we're like, then we dial in all the details. And then there's a whole marketing portion of it and a whole, event portion of it. Like, okay, what's everybody going to do for the release of this? But we do release it. The one good decision that's always made is we release it on 717, which is July 17th. And it is a Friday this year, so that's cool.
That is cool. Yeah. All right, well, I'm looking forward to that. So 717 collaboration beer. It's been around now. Like anything, if it started around 2014 or 2015, then where basically if you took a year or two off, that's been going on for just about the better part of a decade now. Yeah. And I remember some of those beers over the years, and it's cool to go into a different place and see everybody has that on for a while and be able to share that. And the stories behind it are cool. And obviously that's led to a lot of I just think it's great that after all these years, people are still hanging out, talking, get a reason to get together, work on something and be creative together.
You have to remember that not only is beer, but the brew pubs as a whole is all built around community and getting together. I said, why don't you have more TVs in your location? I'm like, because I want people to come, sit down, and enjoy a conversation with friends. That's number one. If you want to come and sit down and watch a sporting event, certainly you're welcome in our places. Right. But, number one is how does a family of 5 or 6 or how many ever you have come in, sit down, and actually have a wonderful conversation, and maybe not even be on your phones. Okay, I get it. Everybody is looking at their phones now and again, but have a conversation with your family and enjoy it in our place, and enjoy some really good food, really good drink along with it. That's sort of what I sort of live for right now.
Beautiful. Yeah. Artie, we've tried multiple beverages here today. We've had the Trinity flavors, cocktails in a can.
What the hell happened
What has
here,
happened
Mike?
to my book? This was clean before you arrived. I don't know what you got. You were in a mood coming over there from the brewery today. All right, so we had the transfusion. We had the vodka lemonade. We did a 3-year-old Outta Focus double IPA.
That was interesting.
We did a Jolly Scottish style ale, and we did the Ve Skale Czech Pils, which I'm still enjoying very much. So look, all sorts of great stuff going on. Your menu was recently updated. Yeah. You guys did. I was just in with the family last week.
How was your meal?
Unbelievable. We had such a good time.
Good.
And
your kids are fantastic.
Thank you.
I love them.
Thank you. I also enjoyed my daughter's leftovers the next day.
Did you?
She brought home quite a pile.
Did Stone eat the whole elephant ear?
There's no question whether Stone is going to eat the whole elephant ear.
He can eat a whole elephant ear, kid. I love him.
Yeah. So no, we had a great time. So I just want to put a shout out to if you're hungry and you're thirsty, Appalachian Brewing Company got you covered. We had a great time at the Mechanicsburg Brew Pub last week, a little family outing. Got to spend a little time with Artie there too, and had beers, had food. Everything was just wonderful, from the service to the atmosphere. We had a great time, and you know what? Maybe the kids glance down at the phones every once in a while, but for the most part, they were just there to talk to Uncle Artie. And
well, I don't know if I've earned that yet.
No, it's all good.
But
man.
I will say that no, they weren't. They did glance at their phones every once in a while. But you guys had a nice family dinner, and I'm sorry I disrupted it. I hope I didn't disrupt it for too long.
We were hoping you'd pop over and see us for a little bit.
Good.
It's good to see you want to have a similar experience, have a great time. abcbrew.com. Check them out on social media. See what's new. Get in there. You hear us drink this stuff. You hear us talk about the food and the different events and things that are happening. Get in there and check it out for yourself. So abcbrew.com. Artie, once again, happy spring, my friend, and cheers to you as I finish this Ve Skale Czech Pils.
You've been listening to the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast. For all things ABC, visit abcbrew.com. We'll see you next time. Cheers.